So the very highly anticipated Ranger Slayer one-shot is finally out, and what this comic does, it closes one door, but it opens another, and I get the feeling what they're doing with the end of this comic, which we'll get to in a bit with this review, is they're setting up Drakkon New Dawn with the ending of this comic, which we'll touch upon later. So this comic is a sequel, or it picks up right where we left off with issue 50 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it tells the story of Ranger Slayer when she returned to the world of the coinless, because when Ranger Slayer returned in issue 48 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, a lot of people were speculating where had she been since Beyond the Grid. A lot of people thought she just went home to her original timeline and everything was good, but it turns out she was just chilling out in space the whole time, hanging out with Grace or something. I don't know, but she was chilling out in space. She didn't really return back to her own world, and that's because she didn't want to. She was kind of running away from her problems and her fears from whatever that world had in store for her. And what did this world have in store for her? Well, that was freaking crazy, and we're going to talk about it in this video. So this issue picks up where we last left off with issue 50, with Ranger Slayer returning back to her home planet, or not home planet, her original timeline, the world of the coinless parallel universe, and she's back home. She didn't want to go back home, but now she's back home, and I've always loved Ranger Slayer ever since she first appeared in Go-Go, because I've compared her to Future Trunks from Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball and stuff like that, and she kind of is like that character, but probably much cooler, especially more cooler than Trunks and Dragon Ball Super. But Ranger Slayer is such a cool character, and you see her coming to face her demons and her problems, and she faces them head on. So because Drakkon and Ranger Slayer has been gone for so long, there's been a shift in power within the world of the coinless. Scorpina's taken over Drakkon's army, and she controls it now. Finster 5's been working on something that we don't know, but we do find out in the end of the comic. And Finster 5, I like how Finster 5's working on his little machine, and he's like, "Ooh, my neck hurts for some reason," which, if you remember what happened to Finster 5 in Shattered Grid, haha, reference. So yeah, there's been a shift of power that's changed, and everyone thinks that Ranger Slayer is still on the side of the bad guys because, you know, she's been gone for so long, and people just thought she went missing, and she went on that whole mission because, well, that's the thing. A lot of people think that Ranger Slayer went on that mission for Lord Drakkon to go back in time and rescue him, and she's been gone for about a couple of months or a year or so. I think they say she's been gone for about a year or so. I could be wrong, I'll correct myself in the comments or later down the line while reviewing this comic, but she's been gone for a long while, and the troops are like, "Oh, welcome back, your emissary, I'm glad you're okay," and she's like, "Go home, don't let me catch you out here doing your stuff again." But because Ranger Slayer's been gone for so long, there's been a bunch of other stuff going around, and that is the dead is rising, and it's basically the sentries that are being possessed by this evil green ghost that no one knows what it is, but we find out what it is later, which I'll get to in the review. Don't worry, we'll get to in the review. We're getting it to later in the review. I just want to talk about bits and pieces in this comic. But Scorpina in this comic being the head commander of the coinless army, not the coinless army, the Drakkon army. I like her new design. Her new design is really cool. I mean, she's got this jacket, she's got these pants. I mean, it's sort of like her old design, but like she's got a jacket on. She's the ruler. It looks really cool, so it kind of ditches her old Sentai look, and she's just in a brand new outfit. I really do dig this design, I will say that. So Kimberly returns to the coinless army, and she says, "Hey, I know I did a lot of bad things back in the past, but I want to make things right. Please forgive me. I'll hand over my powers to you because you can use it to charge up the armies and stuff like that." But Trini comes up with a plan saying, "Hey, we want to take down this fortress at the command center. There's some stuff going on. We think it's where these things from the ground are coming from. So we're going to go there because those whole ghost people that's been popping up, it took us to the command center. So can you please come with us?" So Zach, Trini, Kimberly, Bulk, they all go to the command center, and they take on this mysterious threat that's hanging out there because it's where the ghosts are. And I gotta really say, I really do dig Dan Mora's art style in this comic because it looks more gritty, it looks more mature. He doesn't do that anime feel to it, like everything's got a certain, filter and coloring to it to make it have that gritty, realistic style, because it's very much different compared to when Dan Mora did Go-Go comics back in the day. So I kind of dig his brand new look and style, because it does suit the tonal shift for this comic in this one-shot. So yeah, props to Dan Mora and the colorer in this one-shot issue, because it's really cool. It's really on point. I really do dig it. So they go to the command center, and what you see there is Rita's staff just hanging out there. And when I saw that, I'm like, hey, what's with Rita's staff? It looks really weird. And then you find out Rita's alive, but she's a zombie. And it's really freaky, her design as the undead. I mean, it looks really weird, really freaky, really gross and grey. Like, Rita's somehow alive. She was brought back to life, brought back as a zombie through some sort of resurrection spell, and you find out the person who did it is Trini. Now, before we get to zombie Rita wrecking people, there's one thing I want to talk about with this comic, and that is the moment when Kimberly is just talking to the coinless people, and not many people trust her. She doesn't trust her, Zach's a bit iffy, Trini's a bit iffy because she was mind controlled, but Bulk's the only one who trusts her, and that's some really good development there, because Bulk and Kimberly, they were hanging out for so long in that flashback in Go-Go all those years ago, so it's cool to see that Bulk still has her back, and even Trini and Zach do come around eventually, but it's cool to see someone like Bulk, who, he's not a hero, he's not a ranger in this time, like, he doesn't have his big countdown to destruction moment, but he's still willing to stand up for Kimberly in this moment, and that's what I really like about it. So yeah, props to Ryan for writing that touching moment, because it's a bit of a callback to that moment he wrote in Go-Go all those years ago. So I really do like the interaction that Kimberly and Bulk do have in this comic, because it's sort of like a throwback to them hanging out back in the world of the coinless days before she turned evil and went rogue and all that good stuff. So that's a really nice thing that Ryan did. I really enjoyed that moment. So Rita's super fucking powerful, and she managed to bring back Goldar from the dead, and undead Goldar's design looks freaking amazing. Like I keep saying, the art in this comic is freaking on point. Like, even zombie ghost Rita looks menacing. Like, she looks more scarier in this form, and she's basically going to take over the world, because you'll find out why she was resurrected later on. So zombie Goldar is super fucking strong, and it manages to take out the Grave Zord, and the Grave Zord is done for. Rita keeps the head as a trophy, saying she'll use it as she takes over this world. So later we find out why Trini brought back Rita from the dead, and that's because when Drakkon was gone, when Ranger Slayer was gone, the Earth was kind of in a bit of a shambles. Everyone was fighting to control it. Finster, Scorpina, Lord Zed of all people. Now, I'm surprised Lord Zed is alive, but with the whole timeline reset, that would make sense with him being alive again, because I think Kyle Higgins might have explained it, or he wanted to tell the story that Kyle always said that he wanted to do a one-shot or a story, or he wanted to mention it, that Lord Zed got into a war with Lord Drakkon, and that's how he died, and stuff like that. So there's been a lot of heavy hitters out of the picture, and the reason why Trini brought back Rita was mostly because, yeah, all these people are taking over the Earth and killing their friends. Zordon once told Trini that Rita used to be a good person. She had some good in him, which, if you follow Ryan's run of Go-Go, yeah, that is kind of true. Rita, quote-unquote, used to be a good person. And thinking that, like, with everything going on in the world, maybe she'll have some good in her, because Drakkon was the one that killed her and turned on her, because she's the one that made Drakkon who he is, and that's not the case. She's just as power hungry as everyone else. So everyone's arguing, and this makes Kimberly break into laughter, saying, hey, I wonder what Zordon's thinking right now as he watches us from above with all of us bickering. So yeah, that was kind of a nice moment, seeing Kimberly just laugh in a moment like this, because she says, we're all kind of a mess right now. What would Zordon say right now? And that's a moment of Ranger Slayer Kim I really, really do enjoy in this issue. I mean, her world's gone to shit, not everything's going well, and she's still able to laugh. She's still able to laugh and crack a few jokes like the old Kim. So I like that moment. I really do like that moment. So they come to the realization they're going to need a big army if they have to kill the ghost zombie Rita to bring down the army. So they're gonna join forces with Scorpinus. So they stroll into their base, and Scorpinus like, kill him now, I say. And Kimberly's like, hey, you don't have a choice. You either join with us or everyone's going to die. No, what did she say? Like, it's like, you can kill us and everyone's going to die, or you can listen to our plan. Because as Scorpion is ordering the troops to kill Ranger Slayer and the coinless, the red sentry says, hold your fire, and Kimberly's response is, hey, it looks like your troops don't want to die either, so yeah, you're gonna listen? So they join forces, and there's this big epic battle. You've got zombie Goldar on the battlefield, you got zombie Rita versus Scorpina and Trini gets the finishing blow. But I gotta talk about the fight between zombie Goldar, because zombie Goldar is this big force on the battlefield, and you're like, how are they going to destroy that with the Gravesword gone? How are they going to destroy that? How are they going to kill that? And Finster 5's like, oh, time to show off that thing I was working at the start of the comic. And what is it? It's a fucking hybrid between the Dragon Zord and Lord Zed. Holy fucking shit, that design is awesome. Like, holy shit, like, I want a Zord toy of that, please. I don't know, if they make a freaking Dragon Zord Lightning Collection figure, I don't know, I'll combine it with that, I don't know, but that design looks so fucking awesome, using the corpse of Lord Zed and the Dragon Zord to combine it. That is just, oh, fucking mint. I love it so much. That is a cool looking design. So there's a big fight on the battlefield. Rita's destroyed, the day is saved. There's a lot of dialogue back and forth, but what am I skipping over? I am skipping over the character interactions we get on the battlefield. You see Adam interacting with Aisha, where I think Adam's joined up with the sentries and stuff like that. You see a grizzled Adam with a beard and stuff like that. You see Bulk and Skull reuniting, and Bulk goes, hey, you're a Red Ranger now? And Skull's like, yeah, I'm like the Red Ranger, I'm like the commander, I'm 8th or something. And Skull's like, what have you been doing, Bulk? What have you been doing, Bulky? And he's like, I got to drive in a Zord. Oh, the simple dialogues and the simple interactions that Ryan writes like that makes this comic amazing, especially the expressions that Dan draws on that face with that moment where Bulk says, I got to drive in a Zord. He's living the dream. Bulk is living the dream. So Rita's destroyed and all is well. The status quo is back to usual. Armies are at each other's throats again. People aren't getting along. And Scorpina's like, hey, if you walk out that door, I'm gonna kill ya. I'm gonna kill ya. And Bulk's like, hey, I know this might be above my pay grade, but if you're looking for a new Drakkon, why don't you just use Ranger Slayer? And Kimberly's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. And everyone suggests it, like even Zach, even Trini, like she's fit for the job. And even Finster 5 says, hey, if we have this temporary ceasefire, it could work in our advantage while we keep strategizing, and she keeps the troops in line and stuff like that. So Kimberly's not for it. She's not for it. And even Scorpina says, no, you're not. A leader who puts people's needs ahead of their own, isn't that right? But if we pretend she is, then all we need is someone who might be a bit more regal. So the final page ends with this big speech done by Kimberly. She's making this speech saying how we're united as one, and the blood on our hands is wiped clean, and we're going to start all over again. We're starting anew because this is our home and we fight together to protect it. And the final panel is Ranger Slayer on the throne, decked out in some really cool armor. She's got she's got Trini by her side, she's got Scorpina on the other side, and everyone's bowing, and Kimberly is now the new ruler of the world of the coinless, and that's where the comic ends. So yeah, that's my review / recap of Power Rangers Ranger Slayer. Overall, I think it was a really good comic. I was worried when I started reading it because I had no idea where this was going to go, and I was worried how it would wrap things up. But once we got to the end and the big battle and the final panel where you see Ranger Slayer on the throne, I mean, that was a satisfying ending to see Ranger Slayer on the throne at the end. I don't know, something about it, I mean, it's just nice to see because Ranger Slayer's journey has finally come to an end after almost 2 years, 3 years maybe? Yeah, 2 years. And it's great to see the character's journey finally come to an end after so many years. I mean, will we see more of her? I don't know, but she's now the ruler of the coinless, and I wonder if that's going to tie into the whole Drakkon New Dawn stuff or anything like that. I have no idea, but I guess we'll find out eventually if that ties into Drakkon New Dawn. Who knows? But the journey of Ranger Slayer has been a crazy one, and the Seer at the Throne is really great. But apart from the whole Ranger Slayer stuff, like, I love Ranger Slayer as a character. I think she's awesome. She's pretty cool. She's one of my favorite new additions to the comics that we've had in a long time, and I just love the struggle she goes through. Like I said, I've compared it to Trunks and Dragon Ball and stuff like that. So I really did like the other characters, and I kind of wish we got to see more of them. I did not read Road to Ranger Slayer because I could not find it online, and I couldn't get down to a local comic book store for Free Comic Book Day, but oh well. Maybe I'll do a retro review or something, I don't know. But I enjoyed seeing the other characters interact near the end, like Bulk and Skull, Adam, Aisha, Trini, and the whole Trini thing that she did. Zombie Rito, like, was a big surprise, and I'm glad that twist came out of nowhere, because that was something I'm guessing they were covering up with the whole press and the spoilers and stuff like that. So I'm glad that that did not leak online and I got to witness that for the very first time. That was a really good surprise. Especially the Lord Zed thing, that was fucking awesome as well. So Ranger Slayer, really great comic. I recommend picking it up. Drakkon New Dawn is next month, so I wonder if that's going to tie into this storyline. Who knows? I guess we'll find out eventually. But after this comic, we've got issue 52 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers next week. So Ranger Slayer, 10 out of 10. I enjoyed it quite a fair bit. Pick it up if you wanna. I recommend you guys pick it up because it's a nice addition to the Power Rangers comic. Ryan did a really good job on it, but yeah, I recommend picking it up. So anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap up this video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, take care, all that good stuff. Bye.